Our topic today is 7 deadly objections to SOI, sphere of influence. When I call them deadly objections, here's what I mean by that, is when people are first presented with the concept of generating business and referrals from the people who know them, which we call our sphere of influence, they come up with the buts. But what if, but what about, and then they either one of two things happen. They dismiss the whole idea of a sphere of influence business model because the buts that we're going to talk about, or they'd go ahead and say, well, I don't feel good about doing this or this or this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then you screw up your relationships because you're not relating to your sphere of influence with soul, selling with soul. So that'll make more sense here in a little bit if you're new to us. But my goal is that everyone who follows selling with soul runs a primarily sphere of influence based business. Not because I have some big SOI program to sell you. I don't actually, but because it's a great way to run a business. It's a confidence building way to run a business. It's fun. It's professional. You know, did you really go into real estate to call strangers all day and bother them? Did you really go into real estate to go knock on strangers' door and, put your life at risk, but also annoy everybody who opens the door and has a real estate agent there trying to sell them something? If that's what you want to do with your life, there are other ways to make a living besides real estate. So let me just read what my 7 deadly objections are to kind of give you a feel for what's coming. All right. The first one is, I don't know anyone who wants to buy or sell houses right now. How can I possibly depend on the people I know to provide enough business for me? That's one. Number 2, I don't want to be that annoying guy or gal who people avoid phone calls from. Number 3, my friends and family will expect a discount from me. Number 4, I don't want to risk my friendships in case the deal goes sour. Number 5, my family doesn't take me seriously. Number 6, I don't want my friends and family to feel obligated to use me. And 7, everyone says I need to cold call, door knock, and mail to a farm to succeed, that your sphere of influence is nice, but it's not enough. So those are the 7 deadly objections. Let's hit it. All right, number 1, I'm an introvert and I don't have very many friends, or I don't know anyone who wants to buy or sell right now. And even if I did, how could I base my entire business on them? Does anybody have that, have that objection, have that maybe, how is this supposed to work? I don't know anybody who wants to buy or sell real estate right now. Okay, so here's the thing. An effective sphere of influence-based business is not based on the people you know hiring or referring you. Let me rephrase that. It's not based on the people you know right now hiring and referring you. Does that surprise you? Maybe. Okay. I think about it, and I know a fair amount of people here in the Northwest Florida Panhandle. And if I sat down and said, do I know anybody buying or selling real estate right now? No, I don't. And I'm not going to call up everyone I know and ask them if they are. So if that were what a sphere of influence-based business was based on, is that, well, I guess somebody I know has got to be buying or selling a house. Let me go find them. That would not be a good business model. It would not be a reliable business model. So is somebody you know out there right now buying or selling a house? Probably. But that's not how this works. So here's how a sphere of influence-based business works. And let me give you a big picture definition. Your sphere of influence is everyone who knows you and knows that you sell real estate. Okay, it's not your friends, it's not your family, it's not your past clients. It is all those people, but it's everyone who knows you and knows that you sell real estate. Now, if you think about it, that includes people that you meet every day. And trust me, I'm not telling you got to go out in the world and meet people all day long. I'm definitely not telling you that. But it's not just your friends and family. It's not just that your current clients. It's really the whole world out there who is aware of your existence. And as long as they're aware of your existence and they know what you do for a living and they think reasonably highly of you, they are all potential clients for you. So let me tell you how that works. First of all, there are 3, potentially 4 sources of business from within your sphere of influence. Okay, ready? Source 1. That is what I call your direct SOI, your direct sphere of influence, and that is the people that you know. So if you made a list of everybody that you know today, and that list is, say, 150, 200 people, your direct SOI, that's source 1 of potential sphere of influence business for you. Okay, source 2 is what I call very cleverly your indirect SOI. And these are the people that the people you know. So you don't necessarily know them. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't, but they're the people you know. So you would probably think of them as, oh, those are the people that my friends refer to me. Source 2, okay? Source 3, and this is huge, and that's what I call your serendipitous SOI. Isn't that pretty? Your serendipitous SOI. And those are the people you meet as a result of the people you know. So it's not the same thing as your indirect, which are the people your friends know. It's the people you meet because you know people, because you have a sphere of influence. Okay, so your direct SOI, the people you know now, your indirect SOI, the people you know, and your serendipitous SOI is the people that you meet because of the people that you know. Now, source 4, I said there was 3 sources, maybe 4. These are the people you meet when you're out there in the world, not specifically looking for business. So when you're out there in the world, being a human being who happens to sell real estate for a living, the people that you meet while you're out there. So you're not out there knocking on doors. You're not out there, putting brochures, whatever. I was approached once by a real estate agent who on his first day on the job, I mean, not that you would do this on your 100th day, but on his first day, his broker sent him to Target to prospect to people in the parking lot, and he got arrested. I mean, okay. Anyway, so source 4, the people you meet out there in the world when you're not specifically looking for business. Now, the funny thing is, if you do door knock, if you do cold call, if you do accost people in the Target parking lot, at some point, some of those people will become your sphere of influence because you do get to know them, but that's not what we're talking about here. And I don't think anybody on this call is really looking for advice on how to go to Target and prospect to people. So, okay, so that's thing 1 is the 3 sources or the 4 sources of incoming sphere of influence-based business. So you realize, remember the first objection? This objection was, hey, I don't know anybody who wants to buy or sell right now. I don't have that many friends. Well, we just opened up a whole world for you. All right, let's move on to a second subtopic of this first objection, and that is what I call the group 1 and the group 2 approach to a sphere of influence-based business. So because you're probably going, okay, all these people, what do I do? What do I do? I need to let them know I sell real estate. So your group 1 and your group 2. Your group 1 are your friends, your social network. People, my definition of group 1, people that you would be comfortable asking out for coffee and you would enjoy going out for coffee with them. That's it. That's the definition of group 1. It's nothing else. It's not whether they would refer to you. It's not whether they're an A, B, C, D, or E prospect because they've referred to you. Would you enjoy going out for coffee with this person? Yes, group 1. No, group 2. So your group 2 are the people that you know that you don't really want to go out for coffee with. You know them, you like them fine, you don't dislike them, but you don't really want to go have coffee with them. So I call group 2 your everyone else group. So the way that it works here at Selling with Soul is that your group 1, the people you would enjoy having coffee with, you go have coffee with. Lunch, margaritas, happy hour, barbecue, whatever. You socialize with your group 1 as is comfortable for you. You don't prospect to them, but you stay in touch with them on a social level because you enjoy it. Your group 2, you don't really want to socialize with. They're just not people in your life you want to socialize with. So you have another plan to get in touch and stay in touch with them in a manner that they will find interesting, that they will find not annoying, And you just remind your group two every once in a while that you're in real estate, you're still a pretty decent person. Okay? That's beyond the scope of today's show, but it really is that simple. It really is. Okay? Something else to throw in here is your group two, your everyone else group, will almost certainly be a bigger source of incoming business for you than your group one. Does that seem weird? Here's the thing. Your group one is going to be smaller than your group two. You know, probably 25% of your entire sphere is going to be group one, 75% group two. So, you know, 25, 50 people are group one, you know, 150, 200 people are group two. So, but you say, okay, but group twos, I don't have coffee with them. Why would they send me business? A couple things to keep in mind here. First of all, in my business, my real estate business, my group two was a far bigger source of business for me than my group one. The thing is, most people, whether they're your group one or your group two, are not referrers. Either they don't know people who are going to buy or sell real estate, or they're just not the referring type. But some people are. And the people who are, once they think you're pretty awesome, they can generate a lot of business for you and introduce you to other people who will generate a lot of business for you. It really does work that way. But something I want you to kind of understand and accept is most of your friends, your group one, will never refer business to you. And that's okay. It's all right. They don't have to, but some of them will. And keep in mind, this is big, back here, our serendipitous SOI and our indirect SOI is all these people out there that you run across in your life because of the people you know. It doesn't necessarily mean that the people you know are referring them directly to you, but you come to know them because of the relationships you have in your life. Okay, I hope that makes some sense. One last thing to throw in here before we move on to deadly objection number 2, and that is the very best source of future business for you. The very best source, blows any other source away for future business for you. What do you think it might be? Your best friends? You're not best friends? Your very best source of future business are your very satisfied past clients. Okay? So your very satisfied past clients are members of your sphere of influence because they know you and they know that you sell real estate. But you definitely want to include your past clients in your sphere of influence business model, whatever that is, but also make sure, for sure, back here to wherever we were up there at the top, that you are focused on providing an exceptional client experience so that you create a database of very satisfied past clients as fast as you possibly can. Once you get to, let's say 100 very satisfied past clients in your database, you'll never have to prospect again. What do you think of that? Okay, subject for a different day. Okay, objection number 2. I don't want to be that annoying guy or gal that people avoid at parties or don't take their phone calls. Who wants to be that guy? I don't understand that business model. Why would I, in a million years, want to implement anything, any prospecting activity, any business building activity that annoys people? Why would I want to do that? I just don't understand how anybody says, yeah, I can do that. Why? Why would you want to? And I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Maybe I'd do it one day and I would be so miserable by the end of the day, I couldn't do it again. So I guess, I don't want to be that annoying real estate agent that people avoid. So don't. Don't. If someone is telling you you have to do something to build your business and it would annoy you if someone did it to you, or you would think this person's an idiot if they did it to you, don't do it. There are plenty of ways to communicate with people as a human being that aren't annoying to them. So just don't, and trust that bothering people, pestering people, making a nuisance of yourself is not a part of an effective sphere of influence-based business model, at least not around here. Okay? Just don't do it. I mean, if you have questions for me on, some of these prospecting activities that you've heard of that kind of rubbed you wrong, that kind of made you feel like, I don't want to do that. And you want to ask me, okay, this is what I'm being told to do. What do I do instead? I'd love to answer that question. I'll tell you what to do instead, but tell me what they are. And I will tell you what to do instead. Okay, got some questions here. Good questions. I'm going to come back to those. Okay. Number 3, my friends and family will expect a discount because they know me. Okay, a couple things. First of all, if we're talking about your friends, like in, your best friends or your family, and they want a discount, so what? I think that's perfectly natural. If someone in my family performs a service, I don't know what, if they were an accountant or if they were a massage therapist or something, and I went to them, I would probably expect a discount and I'd probably get one. Okay, there's nothing in the world wrong with honoring the personal relationships in your life with a deal. There really isn't. Now, you go, well, if I'm running a sphere of influence-based business and everyone I know is a friend or family, how do I survive on that? A couple things. First of all, back to the group 1 and the group 2. Group 1, and I'm not saying you have to give a discount, whatever that is, to everyone in your group 1, because frankly, not everyone in your group 1 is going to be hiring you. But if this is just what I'm going to get to here is this is not a big deal. This is not the big deal that people think it is. Okay. First of all, most of your business is going to come in as a result of these relationships, not from these relationships, not these people exactly. Now, as your business grows and as your sphere of influence becomes your past clients, because it will, that'll become a big chunk. By my 7th or 8th year, I think the majority of my sphere of influence were actually past clients. That's how it developed. But anyway, where was I going with that? Your best friend may want a discount. Your brother may want a discount. Your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law may think you ought to give them a discount. But the vast majority of people that you're going to get their business in a sphere of influence-based business don't necessarily consider you a close friend. And they're not going to expect a discount. Okay. I think you'll get more pushback on your commissions from strangers, when you're out there marketing to strangers. I didn't really do that, so I can't speak to it. But just keep in mind, the vast majority of incoming business on a sphere of influence business model are not coming from people who would automatically expect a discount because you're just best friends. You're not. Okay. So, it's kind of back to what I said earlier, is that simply relying on your friends and your family probably that's not enough to run, a reasonably regular sphere of influence-based business. It's all of these other people who are out there. So I wouldn't worry about it, but I also wouldn't get all uppity if somebody close to you does think you ought to give them a discount, and just do it. Okay. And one of the objections I get to that is, well, they'll tell everybody I got him a discount. No, they won't. I mean, they're not going to. And what's the worst thing? What's the worst thing that happens if they do? Let's just say they do. They tell everybody that you gave them this great discount, and all of these people call you up and hire you. That's not the worst thing. Okay. So don't overthink it. It's really not that big of a deal. All right. Wow, we're on number 4. We're going to get through this pretty quickly. So, okay. Objection number 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I don't want to risk my friendships in case the transaction goes sour. Okay, that's fair. It could happen, but it could happen at any time. I mean, any time a transaction goes south, you risk the relationship. And, keep in mind, we're back to, your sphere of influence is all of these people, not just your best friends. And so really, by the time somebody has hired you as their real estate agent, they're in your sphere of influence, like it or not. So, will things go bad? Sometimes they do. And do you want to risk your relationships over something going bad? I guess that's a call on your part. Now, again, we're not talking about your 10 best friends. So, if I'll say if your very best friend or or a family member is notoriously difficult, or if you already have a weird relationship with them, I might be inclined to not take that piece of business. If you're feeling, I mean, there's people in my life I like a lot, but I probably would not want to be involved with them professionally because something's going to go wrong and it's going to get ugly. So, if you want to make that, if you want to kind of say, okay, I'm going to do this sphere of influence thing, but I'm not going to work with Joan, Steve, Ted, and Todd because they're difficult. Chances are Joan, Steve, Ted, and Todd are never going to hire you anyway. But you would want their referrals, right? So again, don't overthink that. But the thing is, your goal should be that you always provide a great client experience. And so we go back to, if that's your goal and you do everything you can to provide that, then more often than not, you're going to have a very satisfied past client at the end of it. Okay, if your goal is to truly provide a great client experience. Now, what if something goes wrong during the transaction that isn't your fault or is your fault? Fix it. When real estate transactions go smoothly and nothing goes wrong, I mean, does that ever happen? But when they do, you really didn't get the chance to impress your client how awesome you are. When things go wrong and you don't freak out and you don't get all wired up and you fix it and you apologize if it was your fault, fess up. This is your friend, fess up. If you screwed up, tell them. They know you did, frankly. When people screw up and they defend themselves and they blame everybody else, they did it. And if they would have just said, I blew it. Oh my God, I blew it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to fix it. You end up actually being more impressed with them sometimes. So to me, it's worth the risk, I guess. Your sphere of influence is a gold mine of business for you. And to me, I'd rather take the chance that something goes sour, but welcome all of that incoming business and say, well, every once in a while something might happen. But if you can fix it and you can, salvage what happened, that's a very powerful feeling. So just, go in with that attitude and don't worry so much about screwing something up. All right. One last thing on that is don't take on business you don't feel equipped to handle, because, and don't take it feeling like, well, this is my friend, they will excuse my lack of expertise. So let's say, for example, you have a friend or a member of your sphere of influence who wants to do a commercial deal and you don't do commercial, or they want to buy land, or they want to buy something that you don't know very much about. Don't take that on thinking your friend will be okay with you not knowing what you're doing. That's not fair. Now, bring on somebody else who knows what they're doing. Sure, do that. But that is taking a big risk of hurting your friend and hurting the relationship if you take on something you're really not competent to handle without help. So, okay. Number 5. Number 5. My family doesn't take me seriously. This is completely a valid concern. In fact, I personally never worked with my family because none of them lived in the Denver area, but I can totally see having issues. I mean, I'm the little sister, I'm the youngest. And, my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and whoever, they all saw me growing up. They saw me going through being a teenager. They saw me going through being a college student. They saw me, in my 20s. They've seen me have 3 marriages. They know things about me that they may think, okay, Jennifer's, cool, but, they've seen me at my worst. And so, and we all have that, not just Jennifer. But, your family may not take you seriously. And that's okay. All right. Don't push it on them. Don't make them feel like they have to hire you, please. We'll get to that. That's actually the next one. But if your family isn't comfortable hiring you or referring you as a real estate agent, I don't want to say don't take it personally, because it is personal, but it's normal. It's natural. And unless, you have a big family in town, which maybe you do, but you have this great big family in town that is, knows everybody, and if they won't refer you, it's going to be a big problem. It's probably not. So, don't fret about it. And if you stick this career out and you make a go of it, and you're, 5 years down the line and you're kicking butt and taking names, your family will see that, and they'll come around. So just be patient and don't worry about it if your family doesn't refer you. Okay. Next, 7 deadly objection. I don't want my friends and family to feel obligated to use me. Good. I don't want you to want anybody on the planet to feel obligated to use you. People feel that. And when you're having conversations with people about real estate, and they get any feeling that you feel entitled to their business because a personal relationship exists, they're not going to like that. Even if they would want to send you business, if they're feeling that you feel like they should send it to you, they might rebel a little bit. I think I would. So you just got to get that out of your mindset for anybody, that anybody anybody you've ever talked to owes you business. When you have that attitude, people are going to feel it, but it's also going to upset you, because you know what? Not everybody's going to hire you. Not everybody's going to refer you, and you're going to be upset. So we did a show on this earlier this year about, loyalty, how to ensure loyalty from your sphere of influence. And the punchline of it was, you can't and you won't, so don't worry about it. Okay. Now, the biggest thing here is never, ever, ever get mad at somebody who betrays you. Now, if you want to get mad at them in your own mind and maybe your own household, okay, don't talk about it. Don't blog about it. Don't post about it. Don't talk to the rest of the family about it, because it'll come back to haunt you, and it will hurt your business. And you'll just dwell on it, when you don't need that. So I don't want my friends and family to feel obligated to use me. Then don't. Okay? Don't make them feel that way, and you don't feel that way. You do want to be happy and excited about your career, though, with your family and friends. So you want to be positive. You want to be, excited. You want to be, wow, I love this. This is awesome. Just leave the obligating out of it. Okay. Number 7, deadly objection. Here we are. Wow. Everyone says I need to cold call, door knock, or mail to a farm to succeed, that your sphere of influence is nice, but it's not enough. I hear this mostly from newer agents who feel like running a sphere of influence business model is a luxury to be enjoyed once you've been in the business a while, but that as a new agent, you have to do all of these other things. And then later you can enjoy a sphere of influence-based business. And that's just not true. A sphere of influence-based business, when you run it like I'm talking about here, which is you're not just depending on your 5 best friends and your brother, sister, and mother to send you business, it can be plenty of business for you, more than enough business for you, especially as your sphere of influence increases exponentially, which it will if you are committed to providing an exceptional client experience. So it can absolutely be more than enough. I ran a very successful business. In my best year, I sold 70 houses. In my worst year, I sold 15, but mostly between 40 and 60. And the vast majority of my business came from these 4 sources of my sphere of influence. So and my first year I sold 25, and that was sphere of influence based. So it's absolutely enough. In fact, I would say this other stuff, this marketing to strangers, the cold calling, the door knocking, the mailing, all this other stuff that you do, that can be the gravy. Not that you would really want to do it, I wouldn't think, but that stuff can be the icing on the cake, and your sphere of influence be the cake. So if you really want to do some of those other things, okay, have fun with that. But sphere of influence is by far the best source of business. It really is. Now, even let's say though, that you don't know that many people, that you don't know 200 people. Even if we've reached out and, we included people you wouldn't really think of including, you don't know 200 people. You just moved to town. You live out in the country, you don't know that many people. Okay, guess what? you may not be able to rely on your sphere of influence if you only know 10 people. Now, chances are you know more than 10 people. You probably know 50 or 60, but still, that's probably not enough. So what do you do? Well, I guess the punchline there is it's not either or. It's not sphere of influence or cold calling. There are lots of things you can do in between there to meet people, whether it's real estate related or not. You know, the beautiful thing about a sphere of influence business is that you can meet somebody who will never buy or sell a house in their entire lifetime, ever. And they could be your biggest source of business. So, I mean, really, that's the truth. Or maybe they buy one house from you and they live in that house until the day they die, but they send 20 people to you because they were so impressed with you. So, you know, there are plenty of ways to build a clientele to get to know people that aren't cold calling and door knocking. So again, that's, you know, a topic for a different day, but it's not either or. So those are the 7 deadly objections to SOI. Let me read them and remind you of the contest, and then let's answer questions because we have loads of time. So I would love to answer your questions. So here we go again. Take notes on your favorite or your favorites. I don't know anybody who wants to buy or sell right now, and even if I did, how could I base a business on them? I don't want to be that annoying guy or gal. My friends and family will expect a discount. I don't want to risk my friendships in case the deal goes sour. My family doesn't take me seriously. I don't want my friends and family to feel obligated to use me. And everyone says I need to cold call, door knock, and mail to a farm to succeed, that a sphere of influence is nice, but not enough. So, all right, let's go see if we have any questions, which we do. David's asking, how do you handle clients that ghost you? Okay, David, I need you to clarify something for me. When you say clients who ghost me, who are you talking about? When you say client, do you mean you have their listing? You're working with them as a buyer, they're clients? Are you talking about friends who won't return your calls? Who are you talking about here? Give me some more details and I can answer that question. Okay, Kathleen's asking, so what do you do? And I think this came in back when I was talking about not bothering people, not annoying people. And I said, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. So, you know, there's plenty of ways to interact with people on the planet and inspire them to think of you as a professional real estate agent that they would be comfortable hiring and referring to, that have nothing to do with marketing to them, to prospecting to them. If you think about the service providers in your life that you trust, that you refer to, that you use yourself, whether that's, you know, your massage therapist, your acupuncturist, your dog trainer, your chiropractor, your accountant, you know, chances are they didn't get your business and they don't keep your business by marketing to you, by annoying you. So, and when you meet somebody, think about when you meet somebody who provides a professional service that you're actually interested in, how do they inspire you to think highly enough of them to consider hiring or referring them? It's not by being annoying. So, you know, it's kind of a big picture approach to life, love, and real estate of when you're out there in the world where human beings are, and human beings are the people who hire or refer you, you want to behave professionally, not uppity, you know, not arrogantly, but, you know, behave professionally, be nice, you know, be friendly, be reliable, be responsive, be proud of and excited about your real estate career, but not to the point where you're badgering people with it. It really does work that way. You don't have to go out there in the world like some of these other programs will teach you and beat the streets until you find a buyer or seller. Buyers and sellers are out there, and if you want to go beat the streets until you find them, you can. But it's not what I want to do all day. It's not what I want to do any day. And so it's kind of a paradigm shift or an intuitive, like, you know what? I'm a real estate agent. I love what I do. There are people out there in the world who need a real estate agent, and I'm the best one I know. I just need to go out there and be a great real estate agent with as many people as I comfortably can. I know it's kind of a vague answer, but it's the truth. It really is. Okay, let's see what else I have. Lucy's saying, did you have a team or did you do this on your own? I'm glad you asked that. Okay, I have a magic answer for you there. So did I sell 70 houses a year by myself or did I have a team? The year I sold 70 houses, I had help. I didn't have a team. I had help. But part of what I want to throw in here before I explain a little bit more about that is because I had a strong sphere of influence based business and I had a database of at least 100 very satisfied past clients. You know how much prospecting I did during those years? How much? 0. None. I wasted not 1 hour of my time prospecting. Business just came in, because I created that momentum by providing an exceptional client experience. So I didn't spend, 3 hours a day prospecting. Now, when I sold 70 houses and I had help, those were all my transactions. I did have an assistant. I did experiment with different people helping me, but frankly, I found that the vast majority of time I had help, they were more trouble than they were worth. Nothing against them. It was just, I could have done it myself. And I did. In fact, if you're interested in getting to that level, which I did year after year, if you're interested in getting there, I can tell you how. And that's our next live online workshop at sellwithsoul.com, which begins in July. And it's going to be about how, yes, you can sell at least 36 houses a year or double that. And yes, you can. You absolutely can. I don't care if you say you can't. You can. So did I answer the question? Did I have a team? I will tell you the best team member or the best help I ever had, the most effective help I ever had was what I called my wife. Basically, it was a personal assistant who took care of my house. She cleaned my house. She did my dishes. She did my laundry. She ran my errands. And so she came over to my house every morning at 9 o'clock. I gave her the to-do list. She straightened up my house. She did my dishes. She did, whatever. She took my dogs to the groomer. She was my errand runner and my house cleaner. And that was by far the most effective help I had. I mean, it would clear up 3, 4, 5 hours in a day for me. $20 an hour. And at the time, oh my God, worth every penny. So I'm not a big fan in these monster teams unless that's your dream. If your dream is to manage a bunch of people, then great. If your dream is to sell a lot of real estate and do a good job doing it, you don't need all that help. Michael, what do you think distinguished you from other realtors that you provided an exceptional client experience to your clients? What are 1 or 2 things you did special that may have stood out? Oh my God, that's a great question. I don't know if I can come up with 1 or 2 things. I will tell you the big picture was I was super focused on my clients, super focused on my transactions. I did not put my clients' fires aside while I prospected. I spent 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day taking care of my clients as my first priority. And so it's not 1 or 2 things I did. It's everything I did was for the benefit of my clients. I was never too busy to take care of my clients. I'll just give you a couple examples, but this is not, the be all and end all. I never missed a buyer inspection ever. In the 500 houses I sold, I don't know how many houses I sold. In the hundreds of houses that I sold, and however many of those were buyers, I never, ever, ever missed a buyer's inspection. It was important to me. It was a priority to me. Okay, so I always went to my buyer inspections. I communicated with my new sellers every day for the first 2 weeks of the listing. And I didn't just call them and say, hi, how are you doing? I was actually doing things, and I updated them on the things that I was doing. If you remember, I have lists all over the place of things that I consider to be, over and above services that you can provide your clients. And the interesting thing is that they're not really over and above. They're things you should be doing. You're making $5,000, $10,000 on this transaction for a month's worth of work, 2 months worth of work, 6 months worth of work. If it's something that would benefit your client, do it, period. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Okay. And I will tell you, Michael, you're saying what distinguished me from other agents, and I have hired many real estate agents to represent me. Once I left Colorado and I wasn't doing my own, I'm not licensed here in Florida. I'm not licensed where I've had other properties. I was extremely disappointed in that the agents that I hired did almost nothing to impress me, almost nothing to ensure that I thought the world of them. And, I thought, wow, what a wasted opportunity. Here I am. I'm somebody who does refer. I'm somebody who does talk highly of people that I'm impressed with, and they just didn't seem to care. I mean, they did not put me as their priority. So, okay, David. So the people who have ghosted you, they're listing clients that we've delayed putting the house on due to COVID. David, my guess is it's nothing personal. My guess is, okay, this COVID thing came along. We're still not. Nobody knows what's going to happen. They may have changed their mind. They may have, they're just, they've got other things to think about now, besides putting their house on the market. If you feel like you had a good relationship with them, and so why are they not returning my calls? Are you calling them and saying, are you ready to go? You ready to go? You ready to go? Hey, it's a good time. So, hey, we can do, then they don't want to feel a say, David, I don't know you. I don't know what you're doing. But are you pitching them? Are you trying to get in touch with them with a pitch that they don't want to, they don't want to pitch? If what I would probably do in this situation is, just shoot them an email, call them, whatever you're comfortable with, and say, hey, I know the world's upside down right now, and you probably have no idea what your future plans are. I'm here when you need me. If you want to bounce ideas off of me, I'm here. I'm ready when you are. And just kind of let them off the hook. Don't feel like they're going to have to defend themselves against a sales pitch. And I don't know that that's what you're doing, but if you are, then I can see that. Lisa, is there anything you wish you'd have known in your first year in business to make things easier or more profitable? Lots of things. It's a long time ago. I don't really, that's a good question. I went into real estate in 96. So 97 was my first full year. And I really went into real estate trusting my gut on the right way to behave, on the right way to prospect, on the wrong way to prospect. And looking back, that was one of the best things I ever did for myself, was not acquiescing to the nonsense that's out there. And I never did. And now every time I would think about it, and I might do a little bit of it, it didn't work. And so I'd go right back to what I knew would work for me. Now, I will say something in retrospect, from many, many years in the future, is my first year, my first 25 transactions were buyers. It was a strong market at the time, so new agents didn't really get sellers, and I was 29. So I didn't have a lot of people in my sphere of influence who were, selling houses, but I had buyers. And I will say, for a new agent, get y'all the buyers you can. And don't turn down listings, but don't fret if you don't have a lot of listings. I'm doing I think it's the end of June, I'm doing one of these shows on, do you really have to list to last? So you might check on that and enroll in that, where I will talk about the beauty, how wonderful it is to have buyers, and the benefits of not only doing listings. So, but that would be something, is in your first year, buyers are a much better teacher of this industry. They're a much better source of referrals. And I think they're more fun, frankly. But so hopefully that helps. Susan, do you think that being a limited service discount broker helped you tremendously with being competitive in your business and set you apart from most realtors? Wow, you've dug in. Okay, so there was a period in my career, and I need to clarify this. There was a period in my career, 2004 and 5, 2005 and 6, where I started what we call a discount brokerage. And those are the only 2 years of my career that I did that. It wasn't like my whole career was, a quote unquote discount brokerage. So in 2005, anyway, I created and ran New Precedent Real Estate in Denver, which we offered a very low listing fee. And we were full service and we were very good, and we just found a way to make it work. And that was a middle successful year. I mean, it wasn't my most successful. It certainly wasn't my least. It was a reason, you know, it was just a normal year for me. So I can't say that I got a whole bunch of business from doing that. I can't say that I lost business for doing it. So was it the right thing for me to do? Yeah, I thought it was great. I loved it. And I would do it again in a heartbeat if I felt like I wanted to. I don't see anything wrong with providing a service, charging a fee for it. And if I'm profitable and the client's happy and things are working, you know, that's the American way. I never apologized for being a discount broker. I did get crap from other brokers, you know, that I was making it difficult for them to compete. And I'm like, well, it's not my problem. You know, sorry. I was happy. So anyway, it's a topic I like talking about. Maybe we'll do a show on discount brokerage sometime, because even 15 years later, I still do have a lot of thoughts about that. So, but Susan, you're asking me if I was a limited service broker. I was not. I don't believe in limited services unless that's what the client wants. I was a full service broker from day one to the day I left, unless it was a situation where the client didn't need the full service, and then we adjusted the compensation. So I'd be interested in where you got the idea I was a limited service broker, but would love to hear. Okay, Michael, great advice on buyer's inspection. I've been doing it for 2 years and my clients love it. What do you think about going to your clients' closings at the bank? Well, Michael, I don't know where you live. In Colorado, the agents go to closings. I mean, you go to closing. So it's different in every state. So I can't really answer that. If I had the choice of whether or not to go to closing, I would go to closing. If it's just weird to go to closings, then I guess I might not. But if it's accepted for the agent to go to the closing, yeah, go to the closing. Anytime you can get in front of your clients and be that cool real estate agent who cares, which there's a gazillion reasons to actually go to your inspections. I mean, a gazillion to go, and like no good reason not to go. But one of them is show your clients you freaking care. You know, I mean, when an agent doesn't go to their buyer's inspections, what's that buyer gonna think? The agent's too busy? I was busy, I went. And you remember what I said a few minutes ago, that buyers are an amazing source, the best source of future business, the best source of referrals as opposed to sellers? Go to their inspection. You'll get referrals. It's worth those 2 or 3 hours. So, all right. David, I love your questions. I do hope that you'll join us for the workshop. Let's see. Debbie's saying, agents don't go to closings in Ontario. The client just sees the lawyer and they pick up the key. Okay, yeah, I know it's that way some places. So if it's not expected that you be there, then don't. But if you can, do. So, all right. I think I have answered all the questions. So remember, we have the contest. So go ahead and email me by the end of the day with your feedback. I will compile the list tomorrow of the favoritist tips. So of the 7 deadly objections, which ones were your favorite, and I'll pick the winner sometime in the morning. So thank you all. Appreciate you. We have more shows coming your way. So just check the Sell with Soul events calendar. If I were more clever, I would be able to scroll it across the screen here, but I'm not that clever yet. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.